Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. You know what time it is. Another college football predictions video. The new spreads are out, the new rankings are out. We're going to go over all of our top 25 games coming up this weekend, week 13 of the 2025 season. We're going to break them down, predict the winners and losers, the final scores. We'll go over all that. But first things first, before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to drop a comment below. What's your favorite game coming up this weekend? Who do you think is going to win these games? And let's just jump right into it. Our very first game kicking everything off this coming Saturday, November 22nd, 12 p.m. on Fox, some Big Ten football. 5-5 Rutgers, Greg Schiano's team, they're going to have to bring their A game if they want any chance to win this. They're going up against the defending champs, the number one, the 10-0 undefeated Ohio State Buckeyes. This team is cruising right now. A lot of injuries right now. Jeremiah Smith, Tate, they don't have their entire wide receiver core. They're not going to need them this game. I don't even see the point of playing them if there's any concerns at all. You want to make sure to have your team 100% ready to go. Next week, you have the Michigan Wolverines, your final game of the regular season. Ryan Day's dropped the one a couple years now. Don't take any chances here. You don't even need to try to cover the spread. No matter what, you are the number one team. Beat them bad, get the starters rested, move on to next week. Right now, Buckeyes, 96.9% chance to win. 31.5 point favorites, 54.5 over under. Rutgers, 29.9 points a game, throwing for 277, giving up 30 points a game. This is not your typical Greg Schiano's team. They don't have that trench warfare mentality. They're not tough at the line of scrimmage. They're actually giving up a lot of points. Calamanis right now, not a bad season, though. 2,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 picks. Raymond over 1,000 on the ground. This is actually a pretty decent Rutgers offense, but they're going up against the number one defense in all of college football. Number one last year, number one against this season. The Buckeyes, 37.5 points a game, throwing for 280. Running for 162, only giving up 7.5 points a game. Check these numbers out. Only 131 through the air, only 81 on the ground. Great secondary led by Caleb Downs. Really good front seven, getting after it, creating havoc in the backfield. Sayan's having a great season, going to be a Heisman finalist this year. 2,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 4 picks. Jackson's doing good. I want to see the Buckeyes concentrate on that ground and pound just a little more. You're going to need it in the playoffs. Smith, Ennis Tate, the best all-around wide receiver core. Give me the Buckeyes winning this one 37-14. And on the SEC network at 12 p.m., 1 and 10 Sanford. 1 and 10 Sanford on the road versus number 3, the Texas A&M Aggies 10-0. Played about as bad of a first half as they could have last week, but it doesn't matter. They walked away with the win. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is getting the W. Right now, Texas A&M, 99% chance to win this one. How privileged do they have to be? They avoided the majority of the good teams in the SEC, and their second to last game is versus Sanford. That schedule really favors them this year. The Aggies, 54.5 point favorites. That's a massive spread, but obviously we'll get more best bets, more numbers game day for this game because of the differences between two teams. Sanford, 15.9 points a game, throwing for 287, running for 72.6, virtually no rushing attack at all. It's not going to bode well versus this aggressive Aggies front seven. This is Mike Elko. They're going to be disciplined. They're tough in the trenches. Sanford's about as bad as it gets in the entire country, giving up 37 points per game. One of the worst defenses there is, going up against a high-flying offense. Marcel Reed, Heisman-type caliber numbers, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks. They have Owens, Concepcion, Craver, one of the better wide receiver 1-2 combos in the entire country. Aggies, 37.1 points a game, throwing for 273, running for 191. Pretty good balance here. They can throw it, they can run it. They're giving up 23.6 points a game. If there was a weakness on this team, it would be their defense. But let's be honest, Sanford has zero chance of being able to exploit that. Aggies win this one 55-10. 12 p.m. on ABC. How about the Oklahoma Sooners? Oklahoma Sooners pulling off that upset last week versus Alabama. It was not a good looking game. It was an ugly game, but props to the defense. Well, first, props to the offense. John Mateer, they made plays when they had to make plays. They kept the turnovers down. They let their defense dictate the pace of this game, and this is a really good defense. Top 10 overall defense in the country. Brent Venables' team is getting after it. That front seven creating so much havoc, creating so many turnovers, giving their offense the short field. They're going to be hosting number 22, the Missouri Tigers, 73. Welcome back to the top 25. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be short-lived. You're probably getting booted back out after this week. Mizzou, 35.7% chance to win. Oklahoma, 64.3. The big news for the Tigers here, Eli Drinklett's getting a lot of off-season hype, potentially getting linked to other jobs. Perbula's out for the season. Zoller's just not accurately pushing the ball down the field. If they have any shot to win this game, it's going to be on the back of Hardy, leading the entire nation in rushing, almost 1,400 yards, 15 rushing touchdowns. Video game numbers, but he's all they got. He's like 90% of the offense right now, running right into the teeth of the Sooners defense. Their strength is that front seven. He's running right after it. They're one dimensional. Oklahoma, that defensive line is too good. Sooners, 7.5 point favorites, 41.5 over under Tigers, 34.9 points a game. Throwing for 209, running for 242. Really good balanced offense, but a lot of that was when they had Prabula as the quarterback, giving up 19.9. They do have a good defense. Oklahoma's kind of one dimensional. They don't have a lot of playmakers. They don't run the ball particularly well. Their wide receiver cores, they're not an elite crop of wide receivers, but John Mateer, he is everything on this offense. 28.3 points a game, throwing for 227, running for 131, only giving up 14.8 points a game, only 82 on the ground. It's that front seven to me. That's the kicker in this game. Sooners win it 28-17. And moving on to the ACC, boy, has this one been dominating the last couple weeks, especially since the college football playoff poll came out. 12 p.m. ESPN, number 13, the Miami Hurricanes, 8-2. The last couple weeks, you've heard a lot of noise and a lot of complaining about how far Miami and Notre Dame, where people are pissed off right now, especially when Notre Dame is now in front of Alabama. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. But Miami, you have zero room for error. You just have to handle business. Make sure to win out. Finish 10-2. You should be close to Notre Dame. At some point, they got a bunch of you guys together. You have a good shot to make the playoffs. ACC championship, you need a lot of chaos to make that. But no matter what, make sure to win these games. You have to win them convincingly. They're on the road versus 3-7 Virginia Tech. Brent Pry's been fired. Virginia Tech, they just can't move the ball. They don't even have a serviceable defense. Miami, 90.2% chance to win. Virginia Tech, 9.8. The Hurricanes, 17.5 point favorites, 48.5 over under. I said last week, that was the most complete performance we've seen from the Miami Hurricanes. They look great on offense. They're able to throw the ball, run the ball, pass protection, running, opening up gaps. Block. There was holes everywhere. The defense was playing well. They were creating turnovers. That front seven creating havoc in the backfield. They looked all around great. That's the performance they need to show this week and next week versus Pitt in order to jump up, solidify a shot in the playoffs. Carson Beck, when he has a good run game, he can throw the play action like anyone. 2,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, 9 picks. For the love of God, keep the turnovers down. Fletcher was out. Pringle has stepped in purposely. He's a fast back, but he still runs with purpose, has completely opened up this offense. Tony, CJ Daniels should be back at some point. Marion's playing all around. A lot of young, good wide receivers stepping up. They're averaging 33.7, throwing for 270, running for 158, only giving up 14.8 points a game. How about that rush defense? Only giving up 80 rush yards per game. That front seven, they are getting after it. Mesidor, Ruben Bain, the number one and number two defensive ends in the NFL draft. Both those guys first round picks, number one, number two. They are crazy deep there. Virginia Tech, 23.3 points a game, giving up 30.1. They don't have the offense. They don't have the defense. If Miami's front seven can bottle up Jones, keep him in the pocket, they have to win this game as convincingly as they did the last game. Give me the Hurricanes walking away with the win here. And like I said, they need style points. Leave the starters in as long as you need to leave them in to blow this game out. Miami wins 38-17. SEC Network, 12:45 p.m., 1 and 9. Again, one of these SEC teams playing a garbage team, second to last game, really setting up this schedule for success for them. But how about Georgia? How about that win last week, beating Texas? No surprises there. We picked them to beat Texas convincingly. They did. So maybe the Bulldogs, with obviously one of the best coaches in the country, Kirby Smart, 2 national championships to his name, elite 4 5 stars up and down the field, loaded roster, top 3 overall roster. Maybe they're getting hot at the right time, potentially setting up for an SEC championship game. This is when college football is at their best. Georgia, 99% chance to win. 43.5 over under. Sorry, 53.5 over under. They are 43.5 favorites. Colette, they have zero offense at all, practically 16.9 points a game, giving up 37.4. They can't score. They can't throw. They can't run. Their defense is god awful. Georgia, Stockton. Stockton's not putting up Heisman caliber numbers, but he's efficient. More importantly, in crunch time, fourth quarters, that's when he's playing his best football. 2,300 yards, 19 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Carson Beck witches. He only had 3 interceptions. He had 4 in one game. Frazier's playing well. Branch, feed the ball to the playmakers, Bobo. Keep giving it to Branch in space. Georgia, 33.6 points a game. Throwing for 238, running for 190, giving up 18.8 points a game. Not your typical Kirby Smart defense. Like I said, maybe they're getting things on track right now. They're going to win this game. It's not going to be close. Georgia Tech is next week. You will be favored. Do not take any chances with that. 8 overtime game last season. Very close the last 2 years. Get your starters out second half. You don't need style points. You're the number 4 team in the country. Everything's in front of you. Georgia wins this one 45-6. 2 p.m. on the SEC Network Plus, 3 and 8 Eastern Illinois. Another garbage SEC game. How do they do it every single season? This is an FCS team. Teams haven't played an FCS team since week 2, 3. Alabama's playing it second to last week. Kind of pathetic, but it is what it is. Don't question the ability on this Alabama team coming off that loss last week. Game they were favored in Tuscaloosa. They laid an egg killing DeBoer. You cannot afford to lose anymore. The Iron Bowl next week. You have to get this team back on track. This is your game. Run the score up. Bludgeon this team. You got to curb stomp them. You need to regain that momentum. You can't take the chance. If you lose next week, you have zero shot to make the playoffs. Bama right now, number 10, only 2 spots out from falling out. They're 8 and 2, 99% chance to win this one. There's no spread because this is FCS versus FBS. The spread will be out Saturday morning. But Eastern Illinois, they're god awful. 19.1 points a game, giving up 26.7. Bama. Top 5 overall roster, top 3 roster might be the number 1 roster. Caleb DeBoer, Wig Grubbs, they have that deep vertical passing game. They have a great passing game. Ty Simpson, 22 touchdowns, only 2 picks. Miller can't run the ball. Bama is one dimensional. I've been saying it the entire season. If you can't run, once you play good defense, they're going to shut down the passing attack and you won't be able to beat them. That's what happened last week. Bernard, Ryan Williams, they have great wide receiver cores. Establish the rushing attack. You're going to need it if you make a run at the playoffs. Bama 31.6 points a game, throwing for 295, only running for 108.7, giving up 17.8 points a game. Bama wins this one 58-10. And the game of the entire weekend, no matter where you are, make sure you're able to watch this game somehow. 3:30 p.m. CBS, a top 25 East top 25 matchup. Number 15, the USC Trojans 8-2. Lincoln Riley, in my personal opinion, the best offensive mind in all of college football. On the road here versus number 7, the Oregon Ducks, 9-1 Oregon, sitting just a couple spots outside of getting eliminated from the Big 10 playoff possibilities here. They can't afford to drop this game. This is a play-in for the playoffs. If the Trojans win this one, they're going to catapult into the top 12. Oregon, they want to solidify themselves here. If they can get past this game they're in, everything is smooth sailing. But USC, they've established the physicality the last couple weeks. Their offense is moving the ball. Playmakers everywhere, but they're going up against a very physical team. The Ducks might have the best offensive line in the country, and they might have the most efficient rushing attack, top 5 overall statistical wise. But this team, they can run on everyone, racking up yards per carry. Ducks 71.9% chance to win. USC on the road here. Austin Stadium, very difficult place for the road team to play. 28.1% chance to win. Ducks 9.5-point favorites. That's actually a pretty big spread. A lot larger than I thought it'd be. 59.5 over under. Vegas sees some points, and you understand why. Both these offenses score. This game could easily go down to the very final drive, the final possession of the game. Mayava 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks. How about Miller coming in? Almost 800 rushing. Lemon and Lane. Is there a better wide receiver, 1 and 2? Both those guys first round talents. On the other side, Dante Moore slinging the ball up and down the field, 2,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's not a dual threat quarterback, but he is a mobile quarterback. If it's there, he's going to take off for 25 yards. Whittington, Moore, they're averaging 39 a game, throwing for 242, running for 234. Great balance, giving up 13.7, top 10 defense in the nation. Trojans 38.2 points a game, throwing for 298, running for 191. They can throw and they can run as well, giving up 21.7. D'Anton Lynn, he's going to have his work cut out for him. Slow down the rushing attack for Oregon. Get your defense on the field. The thing about the Trojans, they want their offense on the field. Get them as many possessions and touches as possible. Trojans can win this one. Would not surprise me at all. But the Ducks being at home, give me Oregon winning this one 35-27, going with the plus 9.5, going with the over. NBC, 3:30 p.m., 3 and 7 Syracuse. Got to feel so bad for Fran Brown's team. And Jelly got hurt. This offense has never been the same. This team was getting really hot right then. They won 10 games last season, had the number 1 passing attack in the nation. He goes down. This offense cannot buy a first down. It's really set this team back, and they're going up against one of the good ones. Everything I said about the Miami, Notre Dame, Bama ranking, that is not an insult to Notre Dame. This is one of the best teams in the country. They belong in the playoffs. It's just how they kind of situated everyone makes no sense to a lot of the country. Right now, Notre Dame, number 9, 8-2. This team is rolling right now. CJ Carr, what a season he's had. 2,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 picks. Love. The best running back in the country. Some might say the best player in the country. Easily first round talent. Price right behind him. The best 1-2 running back combo there is, running behind a great offensive line. Fields, Mason, so many weapons, so many veteran wide receiver guys. This offense is on a different level from last season's team. Denbrock's calling plays, but Carr, a much better passer than Riley Leonard. Notre Dame, 97.4% chance to win, 35.5 point favorites, 50.5 over under. Syracuse, 22.3 points a game, giving up 31.5. And Notre Dame, gosh, their offense is rolling right now. Their defense started out the first couple weeks looking kind of scary, but since then, they are back to 2024 Notre Dame defense. They are shutting people down. They're averaging 38.5, throwing for 266, running for 193, giving up 18.4. But it's the tear they've been on the last 5 to 6 weeks. They're unstoppable right now. No one wants to play them. Give me the Irish winning this one 42-13. They don't. It's some SEC football, 3:30 p.m. ESPN, 5 and 5 Kentucky. Kentucky, Mark Stoops here. The fact that they still have a shot to make a bowl game and give them some credit because things were looking really bad this season. But this team has virtually no offense. They don't throw the ball well. They don't run the ball well. Usually very physical, usually have a very good defense. But this season, they're kind of just in the middle ground flapping around. They're on the road. Number 14, the Vanderbilt Commodores, 8-2. Vandy, 76.5% chance to win. 9.5 point favorites, 53.5 over under. Bowley for Kentucky, just not putting up good numbers to beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt doesn't have the best defense. It's a serviceable defense, but to beat them, you have to compensate for their offense. You have to be able to score points. Kentucky can't do that. And on the other side, Vandy, they're averaging 38.3 points a game, throwing for 258, running for 185 again, 22.2 points a game. Pavia, yes, the guy's like 45 years old. He's a massive portion of this team's offense. Where he goes, the offense goes with him. Almost 2,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, 5 picks. It's also what he does with his legs. Almost 700 on the ground, 7 rushing touchdowns. They can throw it, they can run it. They are at home in Nashville. Give me Vanderbilt, but the game's kind of close. Kentucky puts up a big fight here. They want to pull off the upset. They get close. They don't do it. Vandy wins 28-21. Staying in the SEC at 3:30 p.m. ABC. This game, it honestly scares the crap out of me because I can see the potential for an upset here. 2-8 Arkansas Razorbacks. No one's taking them serious. Bobby Petrino calling plays, one of the best offensive minds in college football the last, 2 to 3 decades. And he has a very good offense. What he does not have is a serviceable defense in any way whatsoever. They give up. They get scorched every single week. No matter who they play, they are giving up at least 30 points. They're on the road versus number 17, the Texas Longhorns, 7-3. They would love to upset Texas and kick them out of the top 25, going from preseason number one week one, to getting booted out of the top 25. I've been very critical on the Longhorns this season. They have not lived up to the hype. They have all the talent in the world, but this offense has not been good. I said it preseason. Texas cannot run the ball. Wisner, Baxter, they haven't been able to establish a ground game. Arch Manning hasn't lived up to the hype, but guys are dropping balls. The offensive line's not playing well. They have the ability. They just have to get things on track. Where is their headspace right now? That's the biggest question. Does Steve Sarkisian get them refocused? Yes, they're not going to make the playoffs, but they still can make a great bowl game. They can still finish the season on a high note, building momentum because Arch is definitely coming back next year. They can set it up to make another run at it next year. Texas is always going to be in it. They recruit well. They work the portal. They have all the money, all the financing in the world. Or after that loss last week, do things start to unravel? Do they get upset here? Do they finish the season, 8-4, 7-5? That would be hell on earth if that happened. Right now, Arkansas, 34.1 points a game, throwing for 265, running for 205, giving up 32.3 points a game. Such a good offense, but such a bad defense. Taylon Green right now, 2,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 picks. He's also a dual threat quarterback. He's ran for 700 yards. Washington closing in on 1,000 on the ground. They could put up points if Texas doesn't bring their A game here at home. They might get upset. Longhorns, 27.6 points a game, throwing for 247, only running for 124. That's not going to cut it. Giving up 18.3, but that defense is on the field a lot. Give me the Longhorns squeaking by with the win. The Arkansas Razorbacks might have the lead fourth quarter, but Arch Manning wins it at the end. Longhorns win 30-26. ESPN U 3:45 p.m. Welcome to the top 25. Number 24, Tulane, sitting at 8-2. Tulane, as of right now, they're actually the front runner for the group of five to make the playoffs. Crazy stuff. Would have never thought. Well, I didn't think that they had a shot here, but would have thought it would have been USF, Memphis, North Texas. As of right now, it changes week to week of who the front runner is for the group of five. But this week, week 13, it's Tulane. But don't hold your breath on that. Tulane, 66.4% chance to win versus 5-5 Temple, 33.6% chance. Tulane 7.5 point favorites, 56.5 over under. The BYU transfer, Retzlaff, he's doing so many good things on this team. 2,200 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 picks. He's ran for 611 rushing touchdowns, driving 28 a game, throwing for 244, running for 169, giving up 26. They're not putting up the best overall stats, but at least they're getting some W's. Temple, 29.6 points a game, throwing for 204, running for 158, giving up 26.7 points a game. Neither of these teams are that remarkable. There's the possibility for the upset. That would go in line with everything that's been going on with the group of fives. Whoever gets ranked, whoever's favored, they lose that very same week. So Tulane, be very, very careful here. But Tulane wins this one 28-24. Going with moving over to the Big 12 on Fox at 4 p.m. This game, it's a pick. It could go either way. 6-4 TCU. Sonny Dykes, one of the best offensive minds in the nation, especially when it comes to the air raid and putting points, putting yards on the board. They're on the road versus welcome back to the top 25, number 23, the Houston Cougars, 8-2. Houston, 46.8% chance to win. TCU, the fans are siding with them, 53.2% chance, but Houston, 1.5 point favorites. That means this game is pretty much a pick. The over-under is 55 for TCU. Hoover, when the game is on the line, for the love of God, keep the turnovers down. Whenever they're going down the field, whenever they lose one of these close games, they have a lot of one possession losses. He always drops the ball. He gets sacked and fumbled. Hold on to the ball, man. You got Barnes, McAllister. Every time this guy touches the ball, it's like 25 yards. And then on the other side for Houston, Connor Wigman, veteran quarterback coming over from the SEC, 2,200 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 picks. Willie Fritz, good coach. He's had to completely flip this roster, and so far, it is starting to show results. TCU, 30.7 points a game, throwing for 291, running for 122, giving up 26.5 points a game. Houston, 29.5 points a game, throwing for 222, running for 166, giving up 22.1. Flip a coin, that's the outcome. This is a very difficult game to call. As of right now, TCU, a lot of very close games. I'm going to go with them. They finally get that close one possession win. They win this one 31-27, so going with the plus 1.5. Staying in the Big 12, actually an under the radar, really good game. 5-5 Kansas State. This is not a bad team. This is not a badly coached team. Avery Johnson, the highest recruited player in Kansas State history. It's just things haven't quite been clicking this season. This team, top 10 in rushing last season. They haven't been able to get the ground and pound. So that's kind of derailed the offense, but keep your eye on them. The talent's there for them to pull off an upset on the road here. Versus number 12, the Utah Utes, 8-2. Kyle Whittingham, second longest tenured coach in the country. They have an 88.6% chance to win. Kansas State only 11.4 on the road. Utah, very difficult place for the road team to play. And it's not a night game, but it might be dark by the time the game gets that fourth quarter. Utah, 17.5 point favorites, 52.5 over under. How about Devin Dampier? He's doing everything on this team. 1,700 passing, 17 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's like ran for 700 yards. Parker's playing well. Davis, K State, without that great rushing attack, without Edwards, it has derailed the rushing attack. They're only averaging 28.2, throwing for 217, running for 138. Last year, they were running for in the 220, so about 80 yards less per game, giving up 25.5. Utah, this is the best Utah offense I've ever seen in 2 to 3 decades. They are letting up. They can throw it. They can run it. They have a top 5 offensive line. They have that physical defense. Kyle Whittingham, these teams are always physical. They can line up with anyone. 41.1 points a game, throwing for 199, running for 278.4 yards per game. That is brutal. Sucks up time of possession, demoralizes the other team, and they're only giving up 15.6 points a game. Top 10 in the country. Utah wins this one 35-17. They covered that huge spread, and I'm going to go with the under just barely. And moving over to the Big Ten, 4 p.m., number 18, the Michigan Wolverines, 8-2. This is Sharon Moore's team. What they specialize in doing is actually something really special. Physical, line of scrimmage, trench warfare football. But no matter who they're playing, they always force their opponent to play their style of football. They have to slow down. They have to match them physicality wise in the trenches. Very difficult thing to do. Even if you're a far more talented roster, just like the Buckeyes last year, the Buckeyes have dropped this game the last couple seasons because Michigan excels in the trenches and physicality and having that final possession, draining the clock and running the ball. Will they be able to do so this season? One of the keys is they have to make sure to have their team fully healthy. They should win this game, but don't get caught overlooking 4-6 Maryland. Yes, they have a bad record, but don't get so concerned about the Buckeyes next week that you don't handle business. It starts this week. If you beat the Buckeyes and win this week, you can make the playoffs. but you got to at least beat Maryland. Michigan, 82% chance to win, 13.5 point favorites, 45.5 over under. The freshman, Bryce Underwood, he needs some help. The wide receiver course, they need talent, they need speed and skill at the wide receiver positions. But how about Marshall? 900 rushing, 10 rushing touchdowns. That's what Michigan does, though. 27.7 points a game, throwing for 195, running for 223 yards a game, top 10 in the country, giving up 17.7. Great rush defense, solid overall defense. This team's physical. Maryland coaches getting fired. Washington, keep the turnovers down, and maybe you can pull off an upset here if Michigan overlooks you. 23.4 points a game, throwing for 233, running for 111, giving up 23.5. I don't Maryland fights their butt off, but I don't see the upset. Give me the Wolverines winning this one 27-17. ESPN moving over to the ACC, 7 p.m., 7-3, the Pitt Panthers. This is a team, Narduzzi squad. They were ranked last week. They got the crap kicked out of them by Notre Dame. They're looking to rebound, and they're hoping to do so on the road in Atlanta. Verse number 16, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, 9-1. Georgia Tech, this seems like a cat. They have so many lives. They've squeaked by so many games, late fourth quarter, final possessions, bad calls, trick plays, all kind of crazy stuff happening, but they only have one loss so far. They are in the driver's seat in the ACC. If they win out here, if they win this game, they solidify a shot at the ACC championship. If they get upset here, it is all kind of chaos to who's actually going to end up playing in the ACC championship. But it would be a fun thing to watch because college football, we do love some chaos. Georgia Tech, 57% chance to win. Pitt, 43% chance. The Yellow Jackets, 2.5 point favorites. Very close spread. 62.5 over under. If there was a game this weekend that has upset written all over it, it is this game. This is a very scary game. Heichel right now filling in for Pitt as a starting quarterback. Freshman here. Didn't play his best last week, but overall, putting up good passing numbers this season. 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. But on the other side, you all know what Frank Key's team does. They run the ball. They're physical. They ground and pound. They do the play action well. They don't play defense, but they can score some points. Haynes King, he's like 90% of this team's offense. 2,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's also ran for almost 914 rushing touchdowns, putting up really good numbers. Pitt, 37.2 points a game. Pitt can score some points. That's what makes it an upset alert potential for Georgia Tech because they squeaked by some crappy teams. They almost lost to Boston College last weekend. One on that field goal at the very end with expiring seconds versus 1-10 Boston College. Not a good win, not a good look at all. Pitt 288 through the air, running for 119. They don't run the ball well, giving up 23.3 points a game. Georgia Tech 36 points a game, throwing for 272, running for 225. Very good offense, giving up 24.2 points a game, 243 through the air. There may be opportunities for Pitt to push the ball down the field. Their offense can make this game difficult. Really tough game to call, but I'm just going to call it now. Give me the Panthers pulling off the upset, 34-27. I'm going with the plus 2.5, and that's going to put us at the under still, just barely. And how about this one? 7:30 p.m. in the SEC on ABC. Number 20, the Tennessee Volunteers, 7-3. One of the highest ranked three-loss teams in the nation. Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive minds there is. They throw it, they run it. They don't play defense. One of the worst defenses in the SEC, one of the worst in the country. But this team can score points. No matter who they played, they're putting up 40 plus per game on the road versus 3-7 Florida Gators in Gainesville. Even though the Gators have an awful record, they've almost beaten multiple top 10 teams. They upset Texas. They are competitive no matter what. They show so much heart. They fight. They are in every single game. They almost upset Ole Miss last weekend at Ole Miss. You know they're going to come prepared. Plus, this is a rivalry game. On paper, two of the biggest college football brands facing off, but only one of them is technically having a good season, obviously, with Billy Napier being fired. Tennessee, 65% chance to win. The Gators, 35% chance. The Volunteers, 4.5 point favorites. They have to relish and cherish these times to beat the Gators. The Gators beat them so many years straight. Now's the shot for Tennessee to own this series. The over-under is 57.5. Joey Aguilar, he shows up out of nowhere, transfers over from the Bruins. This team has never looked back. Much better than Nico Imaliava. 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, 10 picks. He'll also take off and scramble for a first down. They have Bishop, and they have a massive wide receiver core. Everyone's 6'2 to 6'4. Tennessee, 43.4 points a game. They can score a top 5 in the country. Throwing for 318, running for 177, getting 28.9 points a game. Florida, their offense, though, is not very good. 20.8 points per game. DJ Lagway, sometimes he shows some promise. Sometimes he looks really bad. 12 touchdowns, 13 picks. That kind of speaks for itself. They throw for 217. They run for 122. They give up 23.6 points a game, but that defense is really good. It's just they're on the field the entire game. They get wore out. Tennessee's going to wear them out. Volunteers win this one 32-24. They cover the spread. And again, they're going with the under. A lot of unders this week. And now going over to the Big Ten on the Big Ten Network, 7:30 p.m. Welcome back to the top 25 for like the fifth time this year. Number 21, the Fighting Illini, 7-1. Red Lemons team, they're disciplined. They're a hard nosed. They're old school. They're a line of scrimmage team. They're going to be physical here, going up against 3-7 Wisconsin Badgers. If there wasn't so many fired coaches, Luke Fickell would probably also be fired right now. Illinois, 71.9% chance to win. The Badgers, 28.1. The Fighting Illini, 7.5 point favorites, 40.5 over under. Luke Altmaier, third season on this team, very familiar veteran quarterback in the system. 2,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, 5 picks. They're averaging 32.2. Actually, the best Illinois offense I've seen in quite some time. Throwing for 246, running for 140, giving up 23.9 a game. Wisconsin, 12 points a game. That's awful. There's some teams that average that every single quarter. This might be the worst offense in the entire country. They're only throwing for 136, only running for 110, giving up 23.2. O'Neal, doesn't matter who you line up out there. They can move the ball. They get first. They can't get first downs. The Fighting Line don't have a great defense, but if you have an awful defense, you can still shut down the Badgers. Give me the Fighting Line winning this one, 28-17. They our second to last game in the Big 12, 8 p.m. on Fox. Number 11, BYU Cougars, 9-1. That's so lost, getting beat pretty handedly by Texas Tech, but it's only one loss. What's going to happen to BYU if they win out? It's going to be pretty interesting to see what the committee does. But this is a really good team. Physical team. They run the ball well. They have the true freshman, Bear Bachmar. That guy's like 260 pounds, hard to bring down. They're on the road versus 7-3 Cincinnati Bearcats. Don't forget Cincinnati. They've been ranked a lot during this season. Don't overlook them. They're not a bad team. You have a BYU 2.5 point favorites, practically a 50-50 game here. 54.5 over under. Cougars 67.7% chance to win. Bachmeyer, he's thrown for 2,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. Martin, 1,000 yards on the ground. They are physical. They'll line up. They'll run it right at you. Can the Bearcats stop it? Cougars 34.1 points a game. Throwing for 222, running for 195, only giving up 17.8. Well-rounded team. Cincinnati, though, Sorsby also having a really good season. He can take off and run. He has 2,300 yards, 22 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 34.4 points a game, throwing for 233, running for 195, getting a 22.7 points a game. This is one of those games to me. It is a 50-50 pick 'em. Would not be surprised at all if Cincinnati pulls off the upset. A lot of teams right behind BYU, Utah, um, Alabama, who's at 10, so they're in front of them, but they don't want anyone right on their back. Miami, Trojans, they would love to see BYU go down here. There's the possibility. To me, it's a 50-50. I want to avoid this game, but give me BYU inching it out 27-24. And we've made it to our final game. That was a lot of games. 8 p.m. ESPN2, number 25, Arizona State. Welcome back to the top 25. Again, also, they are 7 through and 3. They don't have Sam Levitt, though. Massive loss. The veteran quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the country when he's healthy. On the road versus 3-7 Colorado Buffaloes. Boulder, Colorado. Deion Sanders. This team's completely gone off the rails this season. They have to recruit from the high school ranks to build that depth. Sun Devils, 63.2% chance to win. Buffalo's 36.8% chance. Arizona State, 7 point favorites, 48.5 over under. Without Sam Levitt here, how's the offense going to look? They got playmakers. Kenny Dillingham, not a bad coach at all. Talented team, showing you how good they are. They actually got re-ranked even without their starting quarterback. 24.7 points a game, throwing for 219, running for 182, giving up 23.6 points a game. On the other side, Colorado just can't move the ball. 22 points a game, throwing for 210, running for 122, giving up 30 points a game. They don't have much working in their favor. Somehow, Arizona State still covers the spread. I have them winning this one 30-20. So, everyone, that's all of our predictions for week 13 of the college football regular season. That was a buttload of games. Thanks for sticking with us. We picked all the winners, losers, final scores. We went over all the best bets and everything. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these games? What's your favorite game coming up this weekend? Leave it down there. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment below. And as always, thank you for watching.